Shalom, shalom to everyone watching. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. We are going to go straight into the material this morning of Sefer Ikkarim. We're now in chapter 13, and Rabbi Albo begins to look into a little bit further the questions of Maimonides. In light of that, he responds. So let's go directly to that. Now, keep in mind, those of you who are following us, this entire video that's being produced live will be up on our website or YouTube site of Ways of Israel. Just go to youtube.com, Ways of Israel, and you'll be able to see it there. If you missed it, don't worry about it. We have it recorded. We have it covered, unless there's some type of technical difficulty, which sometimes that happens. So make sure if you're live, watch it, share, and very important that you also help us be able to reach out to so many other people that are being fed by Torah Judaism, which is basically what we're involved in today. We do have a lot of opportunities, those of you that are looking for a place to congregate as Jews. And if you need to go through a process of Gior, you can also reach out to me at 786-306-8211. Well, so let's go right to it. Chapter 13. Not every law which maintains the three principles mentioned, the existence of God, reward and punishment, divine revelations, which are general principles of divine law, as we have seen, says Rabbi Albo, is divine in the full sense of the word. So that a believer in it can be called a believer in divine law without the qualification and has a share in the world to come. The truth of the matter is that there are three general principles of all divine law, in the sense of one who denies any one of them is excluded from the class of those who profess divine law and has no share in the world to come because he does not believe properly in divine law. But one may acknowledge these principles and yet have no share in the world to come. He must, in addition, believe in the derivative principles which branch out of them. If he denies any of the subordinate principles, it is tantamount to a denial of the fundamental principles from which the former is derived. Thus, one who believes in the first principle, the existence of God, must also believe that God is one and incorporeal in any sense. Other such corollaries are follows from or dependent upon the first principle. Similarly, one who believes in divine revelation, which is the second principle, must also believe in the reality of prophecy and the genuineness of the divine representative's mission. Likewise, one who believes in the third principle, reward and punishment, must believe in God's knowledge and providence and retribution, spiritual and corporeal. To deny any of the secondary principles which are derived from the fundamental principles is based upon them is tantamount of denial of the fundamental principle itself. Thus, one who denies the reality of prophecy, which is the corollary of the principle of revelation or genuineness of the alleged divine messenger, through whom the law is given, is virtually denying the principles of revelation. Similarly, one who believes that God is bodily is virtually denying the principle of the existence of God. Let me say that. Also, Alba believes if you believe that God is in a bodily form, is virtually denying the principle of the existence of God. For belief in the existence of God means the belief that there is a necessarily existent being who is the cause of all existing things, all of which receives influence from him and are in need of him. While he is indeed of nothing outside of himself, now if its necessary existing being were corporeal, he would stand in need of another, for all body is a composite, as Maimonides explains in the 22nd proposition, and that all that is composite has a need of another, the composer and agent who brings about the combination of its parts. So necessarily the existing being would therefore exist not through himself, but through another, and would not be self-sufficient, but would stand in need of another. Thus, the other would be greater than he, and the other of latter's being. The necessary existing being would then exist not through himself, but through another. But a being whose existence depends upon another is possible, is a possible and not necessary, and not a necessary existence. It follows, therefore, that one who says that God is body or corporeal power virtually denies the principle of the existence of God, as we'll explain when we get into the second book of Sefer Ikkarim. Similarly, one who denies the providence of God's knowledge, or says that all things are the result of fate, as they call it in Arabic, al-qada and al-qadra, virtually denies the principle of reward and punishment, or else attributes to God wrong and injustice, God forbid, since he punishes the sinner without fault, who could not do other than what he did. The same applies to all the secondary dogmas derived from the fundamental principles. To deny that any one of them is to deny the principle itself. This is very important, for it is necessary in this way to examine carefully all the secondary dogmas, which follows from the fundamental principles, and to guard against errors. Only when one believes in these absolutely can he be called a believer in the three principles which we just mentioned. And here Albo basically strengthens the idea that the concept of corporeality of God is non-existent, is not something that would be able to consider someone as a believer. So we end here this morning with chapter 13, although brief, and with Hashem's help we will start chapter 14 in our next video that will deal with exactly the method of deriving the second principle from these three fundamental principles in which Albo has already mentioned. So I want to thank everyone watching this morning. It's a little bit some food for the morning, spiritual food for the morning, and hope this morning will be of great blessing to you and all of yours. And share this video with those of your friends who want to build up their faith, because these are the fundamentals according to Rabbi Albo, Yosef Albo, of blessed memory. Now we're doing these videos in memory of George Albo, a good friend of mine, a descendant of Rabbi Joseph Albo, of blessed memory. Shalom, shalom. Have a wonderful week. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero, and remember the ways of Israel. Support and be part of what we're doing. Shalom.